So today I will be sharing with you 8 rose fragrances that I believe are perfect for the winter months. I've combined niche and designer, and I've made sure to select fragrances that don't have that classic grandma kind of like nostalgic rose scent. No, we're talking about fragrances that have a certain amount of edginess to them and that have been combined with other notes that make it an interesting, modern, and very sexy rose fragrance. But before we get started, if this is your first time here, I'm Arahi, and in this channel, we love to talk about fragrances, makeup, and fashion. If that sounds like the type of content that you're interested in, then please consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Let's go. The first fragrance that I want to talk to you today is from a fragrance house that most of us in the fragrance community absolutely love. Their fragrances are known for their incredible blend, incredible combination of notes, and most importantly, for having an impeccable performance. I am talking about the House of Initio, Atomic Rose. Atomic Rose is an amber floral fragrance that is absolutely exquisite. It has the most alluring combination of rose and jasmine. It has some vanilla that gives the fragrance a bit of sweetness, has a citrusy touch courtesy of like bergamot, a bit spicy because of the pink pepper, and at the dry down, you get a slight powderiness. Just perfect. This fragrance is absolutely beautiful. It will get you compliments. It is one that performs, oh my goodness, guys. The performance of this fragrance is unbelievable. I get a good 8 to 10 hours, if not more. And when I spray my clothes, it just doesn't come off until they're laundered. Absolutely incredible fragrance that I highly recommend. The next fragrance on this list is from a fragrance house that will not come as a surprise to you. It's a very respected and highly regarded fragrance house, and I'm speaking about Parfums de Marly, Delina, EXCLUSIF. Delina EXCLUSIF to me is like Parfums de Marly interpretation of a rose oud fragrance. But this is not just any rose oud fragrance, guys. This fragrance is a bit fruity. It has some lychee and some pear, and there seems to be like a tropical twist to this fragrance when you wear it. It has some vanilla, which makes it sweet. It has a bit of smokiness because it has some incense, and at the same time, it has woodiness, and to top it all off, a touch of oud. This oud is not overbearing. Obviously, it's not skanky. This is a beautiful fragrance, guys. This is like a classic at this point. So many people love this fragrance. If you haven't gotten your nose on it, I really recommend that you do. The next fragrance on my list is truly one of my favorite rose fragrances. I find this one to be so different and to have so many twists in the journey. From the moment you spray it, it just continues to evolve into something more and more and more beautiful. I'm talking about Rosendo Mateu, Sweet Rose. Sweet Rose is a floral, woody, musky fragrance that has some fruitiness to it and is a bit sweet. The fruitiness comes from a mixture of strawberries and raspberries, and I think there's even some bergamot in there. But the most interesting part of this fragrance is that it has a tropical twist courtesy of the note of passion fruit, which I can pick up from the moment I spray it on my skin. At the base, you are left with the most beautiful combination of that fruitiness, the beautiful rose in the background with some vanilla, a creamy sandalwood, and the most beautiful Rosendo signature musk. I absolutely recommend this fragrance. This is not your regular rose fragrance. The next fragrance on my list is my favorite rose oud fragrance. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that I absolutely love the note of oud, but it has to be done right. And this fragrance will not disappoint. This is not your standard rose oud fragrance by any means. I am talking about Giorgio Armani Prive Rose d'Arahi. Rose d'Arahi is an amber floral fragrance that is absolutely beautiful that will get you a ton of compliments. This fragrance has some vanilla, it is warm and spicy, and has a perfectly done patchouli that balances out the combination of oud and rose. This is definitely a beast fragrance for me, guys. This is one that you don't have to overspray, but one that I promise you will get you compliments. The next fragrance on my list is one that I consider fit for royalty. This is a fragrance that has such a presence, and I am talking about Matiere Premier Radical Rose. Radical Rose is an amber floral fragrance that brings some warmth to this season, but it's also like fresh, spicy, courtesy of two notes that are done beautifully in this fragrance. And I'm talking about pepper and saffron. To that, add the woodiness and then also like a metallic touch. This is a fragrance that will get you many compliments, guys. And it's so elegant. It is like a very sophisticated rose. This is, I would say, one of the most revolutionary rose fragrances in my collection. This is not common at all, and I can't even compare it to other fragrances. There's also no oud in this fragrance, but I think that the patchouli does an incredible number with it. The next fragrance on my list is from the house of Aerin, and this is Evening Rose Dior. Evening Rose Dior is also an amber floral fragrance that has a bit of warmth and spiciness. It is a bit sweet as it has the notes of blackberry and lychee, and it also has the most beautifully done note of honey, so it is a bit sweet. But this is a very, very different rose fragrance. This is another one that I don't have anything else like it in my collection. This is a fragrance that performs really well, and I really recommend it for those occasions during the winter where you don't want to wear a very strong fragrance. All of the fragrances that I'm sharing with you today perform really, really well. There are no performance issues with any of them, but some of them are quite stronger than others. This is one that you could wear to the office or to any event where you do not want a fragrance that could be overpowering. The next fragrance on my list is from yet another very highly regarded fragrance house, and I am talking about Fragrance du Bois Siberian Rose. Siberian Rose is an amber floral fragrance, guys, that has the most peculiar mix of two notes, rose and tuberose. This is a fragrance that I really recommend that you get your nose on it before you decide to buy it. You also have to be someone who really likes the note of tuberose, as that note is quite prominent. It opens up with a very strong tuberose and rose combination. And then as the journey continues, you start to get hints of woodiness and some white florals. The fragrance is sweet, but not much. And at the base, you get a bit of earthiness combined with that woodiness and like a touch of leather, with the rose always very present in the background with the tuberose. If I had to pick one word to describe this fragrance, I would say elegance. This is an extremely elegant fragrance. I think that this is an everyday fragrance. I think this is for those occasions where you want to wear a specific type of outfit and you want to look and feel elegant. This is the perfect finish for an elegant outfit. The next fragrance is the newest of all of these fragrances in my collection. And guys, it has me on a chokehold. From the first moment that I sniffed it, I knew that I had to pick it up. And I am talking about Mind Games, the Soulmate collection, and this is Sans Voir. I can honestly tell you that Sans Voir to me is truly a rose fragrance masterpiece. I still haven't been able to really find a way to describe the beauty and the mastery of the journey that you get with this fragrance. All I can tell you is that when I first sniff this fragrance, the first thing I get is that beautiful rose that to me is a bit sweet. It's not a jammy rose. It's just like a bit sweet. And then it's combined with a freshness brought on by what I think to be some grapefruit. And then there's like a little bit of salt. I don't know how they've done this, guys, but this is absolutely beautiful. As the journey continues, I do pick up on some freesia and I start to get a hint of incense. But the incense is never a dominant or even semi-dominant note. The incense is always there, like lurking quietly in the background. And then at the base, guys, I get the most incredible Palo Santo combined with some rose, and still that freshness with that bit of like salt in the background. I don't know how to explain it, but all of that makes for an incredibly different fragrance. Whenever I wear this fragrance, I get questions. I don't just get compliments. I have people ask me, what am I wearing and where can they get it? Can they get a sample of it? Can I help them with a sample of it? People really, really gravitate to you when you're wearing this fragrance. It is very different. And it's one of those fragrances that even though the dominant note is supposed to be rose, it doesn't immediately give away that it's a rose fragrance, if you know what I mean, because it's been blended so masterfully. From the Soulmate collection, this is not my favorite, but it's number 2 of the 4 that I've already picked up. But I have to tell you, it's really always competing with my number 1. And I will be filming a video specific to Mind Games and the Soulmate collection because I am really in love with so many of those fragrances. As you know, I typically try to share with you how a fragrance makes me feel. And all of these fragrances have the common denominator of making me feel very confident and sexy and alluring. I think that all of these fragrances have like a sensual rose type of effect without being nostalgic, without being too classic, or without evoking full maturity. These fragrances, for the most part, are modern and they actually speak to a person that is quite versatile and quite lively. But this fragrance, guys, this is different. This is that quiet woman who is always in deep thought and is very sensual because of her silence. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a mysterious individual that smells absolutely incredible, very well put together, very well dressed, and who doesn't take themselves very seriously either. This fragrance has an incredible sillage, and when you walk by someone wearing this fragrance, you will most likely be stopped and they will want to know everything about it. I can't speak highly enough of this fragrance, but anyway, guys, more to come on a dedicated video. I hope I was able to strike your interest on any of these fragrances. Please get your nose on them before picking them up. I don't ever recommend that you blind buy. These fragrances are all quite complex. They're not linear and they each have a different characteristic. I really think that you should look at the notes of each one and then pick a couple that you want to try. I promise you that even if you are not a rose lover, you will fall in love with a couple of these fragrances. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and I will see you in the next video.